Hello everybody, this is Austin Smith and I'm here to talk about copyright and fair use with specifics for copyright and fair use for YouTube videos. The basis of copyright are that copyright is legal protection for the creators or the authors of work. It can be written work like poems, novels, short stories. It can be a literary work like a play or a speech. It can be music. It can be art like paintings and statues or other intellectual works, maybe music videos, compilations or collages, things like that. Copyright is automatic. It comes into play as soon as the work is published, and it lasts for the duration of the author's life and then 70 years after the author dies. If a work is produced for hire or as commissioned like a painting, the copyright lasts a little bit longer depending on the circumstances, but the details are not important for us right now. Copyright is not the same thing as a trademark. A trademark protects a commercial slogan or commercial logo or the things that make up a brand. It's not the same as patent law. Patent law protects an invention. It's not the same as protecting a trade secret, because that would be something like the secret formula to Coca-Cola, and that's not necessarily creative as much as it's the trade secret for the Coca-Cola brand. Copyright also doesn't have to do with slander and libel. Those are more about defamation of character through either written or spoken means. And privacy law and copyright would seem to go together, but they don't, because just because a work is copyrighted doesn't mean that the players inside necessarily have the privacy that they might want. Fair use is a set of guidelines for the use of copyrighted material under certain circumstances and with certain provisions. And fair use exists because the point of copyright is not to stifle creativity by locking down all creative works out there. Instead, copyright is just there to protect creations and to make sure that the person who created it gets the proper credit when it's used later on. And the main goal of copyright is to encourage creativity. So copyrighted material can be used in commentary. For example, if you wanted to do a local movie review show, you could show little snippets of movies and tell your opinion about them. Fair use occurs in news reporting in case something accidentally gets put into a news report that was copyrighted. Also for research, fair use comes into play in parody. If you want to play a little snippet of something and make fun of it, that's how Jon Stewart and John Oliver make their living. And then education, and this is where things come into play more for teachers, because we use copyrighted material a fair amount in education, whether it's playing an episode of a TV show in class or using part of a song for a video, or if our students would like to use copyrighted works to make a collage or to make some other sort of creative work. Something to keep in mind though, fair use does not mean that teachers have carte blanche to use whatever they want to for whatever reason they want to in education. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go along. There's four main factors that come into play when we talk about fair use. The first is the purpose of the use. So is it a commercial use or is it a nonprofit use? For educators, it's a no-brainer because we're not really going to make money off of using a commercial or a copyrighted work in a lesson or in a flipped classroom video. The second part of that is it transformative? Do we change things from what they originally were to something that's our own creation? Usually if it's transformative and there's not too much of the work used, it's going to be okay. The second is the nature of the work. Was it published? Was it unpublished originally? Was it factual? Was it fictional? Generally things that were unpublished are actually harder to use than works that were published. And it kind of makes sense that factual things are easier to use than are fictional works. The third factor for fair use is the amount used. Generally, we're going to stick to a small bit of the work, and we're not going to get the heart of the work. So if you wanted to use, say, 3 minutes of a video of a movie clip, you probably wouldn't use the twist ending that gives away what's going on. And then the last factor, and this is one that kind of gets into a gray area, is the effect of the use. Does it cause a harm to the author, especially a financial harm? So does your use of a work make somebody else not want to buy that work? go see that movie, read that book, etc. And then parody. Usually, if you're parodying something, you're going to be okay with fair use. So the main crux of this presentation is the nature of copyright and fair use in YouTube videos. And there's a lot of reasons why teachers would use YouTube. Maybe you're making a video for a flipped classroom lesson. Maybe you're making classroom videos. Maybe you're showing classroom videos from YouTube for examples during a class lesson. Maybe you want to show a video of a news broadcast because you're discussing current events. Or maybe you want to comment on common events, or comment on the YouTube videos, or comment on some of the literary aspects of YouTube videos. And also you could have students create their own original works in which which are derivatives of other works that are out there, and then post them to YouTube. Any of those can help teachers get to the higher level thinking skills that students need to have. But in all of those aspects, teachers need to be aware and teachers need to observe the copyright and fair use rules for the material that they're working with on YouTube. And the stickers here, you can make a sticker for whatever you want, and you can set it to that, your own level of attribution or commercial or anything like that, and download it and embed it right into your site. So enjoy, and good luck with the Creative Commons.